That's one way to make first contact, Captain Anderson muttered as he watched the alien ambassador vaporize a table full of pastries. The crew of the USS Resolute stared at the smoldering remains, the smell of burnt sugar and flour mingling with the scent of fear. The ambassador, a towering creature with blue scales and multiple eyes, retracted its weaponized appendage with an air of irritation. It turned its gaze to Anderson. "Humans of Earth, you will surrender and offer tribute to the Galactic Empire or face annihilation," the ambassador demanded. Anderson kept a straight face. He knew the crew was looking to him for guidance, and the last thing they needed was to see their captain losing his cool. He turned to Commander Reynolds, his second-in-command, who was struggling to hide a smirk. "Commander, it seems our guest isn't a fan of our hospitality. Perhaps we should discuss their demands?" Anderson suggested. Reynolds nodded, his amusement not fully masked. "Indeed. Captain, let's take this to the war room." The alien ambassador followed them down the corridors of the ship, its many eyes scanning everything with a mixture of disdain and curiosity. The crew gave them a wide berth, whispering among themselves. The atmosphere was tense, but beneath it all was a simmering defiance that Anderson could feel in his bones. In the war room, they took their seats at a large table, now devoid of any snacks. The ambassador's presence was overwhelming, but Anderson knew they had the advantage here. Humanity had a knack for turning the tables. "You demand our surrender and tribute?" Anderson began, leaning forward. "What exactly does this tribute entail?" The ambassador's voice resonated through the room, a deep, rumbling growl. "Your planet's resources, your technology, and your servitude. The Galactic Empire tolerates no resistance." Anderson nodded slowly, as if considering the proposal. "And if we refuse?" The ambassador's eyes narrowed. "Annihilation." Reynolds leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms. "That's quite a stark choice. But you see, humans have a long history of not taking kindly to threats." Anderson raised a hand to silence Reynolds. "What my commander means is we need time to consider your offer. Such decisions are not made lightly." The ambassador seemed to contemplate this, its eyes shifting colors as it processed the information. "You have one Earth day. Then we will expect your answer." As the ambassador left the room, Reynolds turned to Anderson, the smirk now gone. "What's the plan, Captain?" Anderson stood, a determined glint in his eye. "We run." Reynolds looked surprised. "Run?" "Sir, not in the way you think, Commander," Anderson replied. "We're going to play for time. We need to gather our forces, inform Earth, and prepare for war. This empire underestimates us." Reynolds grinned. "I like the sound of that." The following hours were a blur of activity. Messages were sent to Earth, warning them of the impending threat. The Resolute's crew worked tirelessly to prepare the ship for battle, checking and rechecking every system. Anderson walked among them, offering words of encouragement and ensuring everyone knew the stakes. As the deadline approached, Anderson found himself back in the war room, this time surrounded by his senior officers. They had a plan, one that relied heavily on the element of surprise and the innate resilience of humanity. The ambassador returned, its demeanor as menacing as ever. "Your answer?" "Humans." Anderson stood tall. "We refuse your offer. Humanity will never bow to tyrants." The ambassador's eyes flared with anger. "Then you will be destroyed." The moment the words left the ambassador's mouth, the Resolute sprang into action. Weapon systems activated, shields went up, and the ship's engines roared to life. Anderson and his crew had no intention of going down without a fight. The first volley of fire from the alien ship was met with a well-coordinated counterattack. The Resolute's advanced weaponry, a testament to human ingenuity and relentless pursuit of progress, struck hard and fast. The alien shields flickered and faltered under the barrage. "Keep firing," Anderson commanded, his voice steady despite the chaos. The bridge was a flurry of activity, each officer focused on their tasks. Commander Reynolds was at the tactical station, his hands flying over the controls as he directed the ship's firepower with precision. "Sir, they're charging their main weapon," shouted Lieutenant Harris from the sensors. Anderson's mind raced. "Reynolds, focus all fire on their main cannon. We need to take it out before they can fire." The Resolute's guns blazed, concentrating their energy on the alien ship's primary weapon. The tension was thick as they watched the enemy ship's weapon systems begin to glow with a menacing light. "Impact in 10 seconds, Harris called out. "Come on," Anderson muttered under his breath. "Just a little more." A massive explosion rocked the enemy ship as the Resolute's firepower found its mark. The alien vessel shuddered, its main weapon going dark. Cheers erupted on the bridge. But Anderson knew the fight was far from over. "Status report," he ordered. Reynolds scanned the readouts. "Their primary weapon is down, but they're not out of the fight yet. They're launching fighters." Anderson nodded. "Prepare for close combat. All hands, brace for incoming." As the alien fighters swarmed towards them, the Resolute's point defense systems kicked into high gear, blasting the smaller ships out of the sky. The battle was fierce, each side giving no quarter. "Captain, our shields are down to 30%, Reynolds reported. Anderson gritted his teeth. "We need to end this now." He looked around the bridge, seeing the determination in his crew's eyes. They were tired, they were outgunned, but they were human, and that meant they had a fighting chance. "Commander, repair the railguns. Target their engines. Let's see how they handle losing their mobility." Reynolds nodded and relayed the orders. The ship's railguns powered up, and with a deafening roar, they fired. The projectiles screamed through space, slamming into the alien ship's engines with devastating force. "Direct hit," Harris shouted. "Their engines are offline." Anderson allowed himself a small smile. "Now, let's finish this." The Resolute closed in on the crippled alien ship, its weapon systems delivering the final blows. Explosions rippled across the enemy vessel, and within moments, it was nothing more than a drifting hulk. Cheers erupted once more on the bridge, but Anderson remained focused. "Stay alert," he commanded. "There may be more of them out there." As the crew settled back into their stations, Anderson looked out into the vastness of space. This was just the beginning. The Galactic Empire had made a grave mistake in underestimating humanity, and they were about to learn just how tenacious humans could be. "Set a course for Earth," Anderson ordered. "We have a war to win." The Resolute turned and sped towards home, leaving behind the wreckage of their first victory. The message was clear. Humanity would not surrender, and they would never back down. The USS Resolute docked at Earth's main space station, the Elysium, amidst a flurry of activity. Earth had received their message, and preparations were well underway for the coming war. As Captain Anderson disembarked, he was greeted by Admiral Cole, a grizzled veteran with a steely gaze. "Captain Anderson," Cole said, offering a curt nod. "Welcome back. Your report was eventful." Anderson returned the nod. "Admiral, the Galactic Empire is not to be underestimated. They've got firepower and technology that rivals our own, but we showed them that humanity isn't going to roll over." Cole's lips twitched into a brief smile. "Indeed. Let's debrief in my office." Inside the Admiral's office, Anderson and Reynolds outlined the encounter with the alien ambassador and the subsequent battle. Cole listened intently, his expression unreadable. The Galactic Empire's demands were clear, Anderson concluded. "Surrender and offer tribute, or face annihilation." "We chose to fight." Cole leaned back in his chair, his fingers steepled. "Good. The Council has already decided we won't surrender, but we need a strategy. This empire won't stop with one defeat. They'll be back, and in greater numbers." Reynolds nodded. "We need to hit them where it hurts, find their weak points, and exploit them." "Agreed," Cole said. "Our intelligence indicates that the Galactic Empire's strength lies in their central command structure. If we can disrupt that, we can throw them into disarray." Anderson leaned forward. "Do we have any intel on their command center?" Cole activated a holographic display showing a star map. "Our scouts have identified a planet deep in their territory. Primus. It's heavily fortified, but it's the heart of their operations. If we can infiltrate it and take out their leadership, we might stand a chance." Anderson studied the map. "That's a bold move. We'll need a specialized team, the best we have." "You'll have them," Cole assured him. "But remember, this is a high-risk mission. Failure is not an option." Back on the Resolute, preparations for the mission began immediately. The crew worked around the clock, outfitting the ship with the latest technology and weaponry. Anderson handpicked his team for the mission, elite soldiers and seasoned officers who had proven their mettle in battle. As the Resolute departed for Primus, the crew knew the stakes were higher than ever. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders, and failure was not an option.